So we're back with another episode of On The Box. We're now at Victory Kickboxing number 6, and I am always excited. We have David Alfie Ward with us today.
Hello.
Legend.
You'll know his voice from the commentary team. We thought we'd bring him on and put his face on camera because he's such a handsome guy.
Well, sorry about that. Yeah, it's my voice. Obviously, you would have heard that voice and be like, oh, God, whose voice is that? I like it. But it's me. It's velvet, honestly. Eargasms. That's what I'm saying. And but then the boys asked me on. I'm very grateful to be here. So thanks for having me on, and I will do my best to make you proud.
Good. Well, this show, Billy done a great matching up as always, and I feel like we've got some good level fights now where the fights they're getting more and more difficult for some of our fighters that fight on our show regular. We're now matching them we're getting more input from higher achieving clubs and fighters that are actually wanting to be fighters, not just your everyday, I'll step in the ring and have a go kind of fighters. They're actually, these people are training seriously, taking it seriously, and they actually want to win. You know, and we've upped the level on the belt quality as well. We've gone from area titles now to 2 English titles and an area title defence.
Yeah, very worthy titles as well. Starting off with Jack Purdy versus Eddie Clarke. Both lads have fought on the show before. Jack getting was it a second or third round stoppage?
I think it was the third round.
Third round stoppage in his last fight on VKS. And Eddie Clarke had a great performance against Jack Clancy. Very tough fight for him. Managed to get a couple of knockdowns in that bout, and it sets him up lovely for this one. Both adults now, over the age of 18, so it's going to be a great title fight.
Well, the thing I like about Jack is that he's so adamant. This is all he wants to do. He's like really focused. He really wants to fight. He really wants to put the work in. What makes me laugh about when he was at VKS4, I see him in the back getting ready, and I kind of said, "How you feeling? You feeling all good?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I won't be happy unless I knock him out."
Who's this?
Jack Purdy in his last fight. So to see him go in the ring with that kind of intent, you know, and he kept going forward, and then to get the knockout, it kind of came out of nowhere as well. It was quite unexpected. But it's nice that someone can sit in the back and have a vision of what he wants to do and what he wants to achieve, and actually do that in the ring. I
think that was a slightly bigger weight as well for him, if I remember rightly. So it'd be interesting to see if he can still carry that knockout power down to the weight category that this belt is under. Eddie Clarke is undefeated. Comes from a strong Muay Thai gym in Legion's gym up in York, and he'll be bringing it big time. He's very forward-moving, aggressive style fighter, whereas Purdy comes from more of a traditional kickboxing background where he likes to pick and move. So it'd be interesting to see how this one unfolds, to be honest with you.
Do you think there's going to be like a clash of styles here?
I think there will be. I personally think Jack's going to come in very boxing heavy. He's going to need to be more of a boxing mindset, pick him off, keep it rangy. This is just my personal opinion. And Eddie, I think, is going to want to close the gap a little bit more, rough him up, clinch him, plenty of low kicks, try and use them brutal knees that we've seen him use before.
He has got very good knees.
Sharp knees, very sharp knees.
And he's not scared to get close. And Jack's not scared to get close either. Like when you see the gym, the ring they train in is so small. They're like pocket fighters.
Down at Mamba,
like
small.
They're really like pocket aggressive fighters. So the closer you are to Purdy, doesn't make a difference to him. He will literally stand and bang, no problems. So I feel like both of them, it won't be a boring fight. It won't be a fight where they're like trying to work each other out. They're pretty much going to touch gloves, and I think they're just going to go, you know. But it would be nice to see.
Do you think so? Because if Jack is going to go in with a more boxing style, I don't know if he's going to maybe try and use some range there and just kind of trying to keep.
I think he will. I think that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if I was in the corner of Jack, I'd probably try and keep the range, maybe hold the centre, keep it at boxing range, and then move when needed to move. Whereas I think Eddie's going to want to get him up against the ropes, clinch on him, you know, wait for the ref to keep separating it, coming back in again, roughing him up, as I say, trying to get that clinching with the knees, and then just low kicking it when they're at boxing range, just to take Jack off his stride with the punches. But as I say, both lads have the qualities to win the fight. I wouldn't have made the fight otherwise. It's a perfect traditional English title fight in the sense we've got South versus North We've got York versus Ipswich.
Yeah.
So it works out nice, really.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I'm quite excited because you've got two fighters there that don't shy away from the occasion either.
Yeah.
So they're just going to it's not like they're going to go in there timid and they're going to take a round to work each other out.
These boys are used to winning.
They're used to winning, and something's got to give. It's going to be like a rock and a hard place, and what's going to give here?
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Moving on to the next one, we've got Jack Brown, who's my brother and represents my club BBSK, versus Dave Hill, who represents Baylang.
You're going to be biased here.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah, because you're going to want Dave Hill to win, aren't you?
Yeah,
just to get one over.
My money's on Dave all the way. No, on a serious note, Dave Hill at the weekend won a WRSA English title, which I was hoping that would happen.
Yeah.
When I knew this fight was going ahead for him on another promotion, obviously I'm sitting there thinking, please win that title. Do you know what I mean? It now makes our title so legitimate.
Yeah.
And Dave put a post out on his social media stating that his next fight is going to be his toughest fight. He knows my brother Jack's going to be his biggest fight to date. Jack's got power in his hands. Give him space, and he's knocking you out.
Yeah.
And Dave is a very, very busy fighter, very, very fit. He's got many 5-round bouts under his belt, and he holds a Midlands area title. Jack holds a Southeast area title.
Right.
Dave now holds an English title under another organisation. This is going to be Jack's first English title. The difference between Jack that you're going to see from last time, Jack fought at probably a lighter weight than he'd prefer to. Jack dropped down to 83 kilos, I think, for his last fight, and had a broken rib in that fight. So we stuck behind the jab and kept a nice bit of space.
Yeah.
Whereas this time he's back up to 85 kilos, his preferred weight.
Right.
And you're going to see the Jack Brown who knocked out Michael Apper. And as I was saying, Dave put out a status on his Facebook saying his next fight is going to be his toughest fight, and that whoever wins that fight can truly call themselves the best in England at that weight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's a true statement.
It's a big statement, though. Wherever it rings true, it's a big thing to come out and say, because it puts a lot of pressure on himself.
Yeah.
And he's one of those who's going to thrive under the pressure, and I'm really excited for this fight.
But he's going to have the confidence of just winning an English title.
And the fitness.
Right, and he's really coming straight out of a fight camp, straight into another one. So he's going to keep that momentum going for the next couple of weeks. Step in a ring.
But that could be a catch-22 in itself. Between camps, sometimes you need to recuperate and have a rest, and winning a title with fighters, it can go two ways. I've seen it go two ways. I've seen it, the fire in the belly goes because they've won a title, or they want more.
Sure. So
it's really how Dave is, what mindset Dave is in.
Sure.
Whether he wants more or whether he thinks, I've got that title now, and he kind of not consciously, but subconsciously takes his foot a little bit off the gas, and I hope he doesn't do that for everybody's sake, and for Dave's sake, and for Jack's sake, because I'm sure Jack wants to go in and have a good old fight as well.
If Jack lets his hands go, it's good night for most people. He does pack a lot of power in that, so it'd be good to see he's feeling a lot better. He hasn't got any issues now going into this fight. Like, if it comes that way and it ends up being a really, really good fight, for a legitimate English title, which they both want. It's not like a setup where someone just stepping in.
English title.
Yeah.
We've said it before. For me and for all of my guys at my gym, they know that the ISKA is the biggest sanctioning body out there. And we've mentioned before, they sanction the likes of Glory, Bellator, these big promotions. So if you're winning an ISKA title, especially an English title, you're getting some good recognition there. It means a lot.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So and against opponents like these two, again, we've got the Midlands versus the South. But again, it's how an English title should shape up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
For me, my guy's coming back again. Taylor Rogers, he's one of my favourite fighters. He's fought on every one of our shows, and he's always stepped up and up every single time.
Yeah, you're a proper Taylor fanboy.
I'm a massive Taylor fanboy. I don't even care. Do you know what? Because he turns up and he fights. No matter what, he'll come and he will put his best foot forward every single time.
So you've got Taylor Rogers, who's the current area title holder, and Otis Waghorn, who has been on a bit of a wrecking ball down south recently. I watched him a couple of weeks ago, beat a very good opponent down there. and beat him very convincingly. Long story short, Max Fogg, who was originally the opponent for Taylor, has had to withdraw due to injury, so we hope to get that one on our October show. Always thinking ahead. And Otis has stepped in on 3 weeks' notice, but as I say, Otis is fit and ready to go, and he's a strong lad. He's got a 4-2 record. Taylor's 4-1. So again, a perfect matchup, and an ideal matchup for an area title. Area title minimum requirement is 3 wins, and obviously you've got to be prepared to fight anyone within the area. You know, a drop of a hat, really. And that's what Otis has done here. He's winning the step up. Taylor beat Otis's teammate Jack Binns on the last show for the area title.
Right, so
Otis is, you know,
looking for some redemption.
Get his boys back, is it? You think?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm firmly in the Taylor Rogers fanboy camp, though. I do every time I've seen him fight. I've enjoyed it. You know, the thing about Taylor, even before he gets in the ring, and you see him walking around with the other fighters, among the other fighters, and especially in Thetford, where there's a kind of it's like a balcony overlooking, and that's where the fighters seem to stand, and he just has this kind of swagger about him, and I like that in a bit. Like sometimes
he's
you
an
see
Essex boy, isn't he? He's a proper Essex boy.
Yeah, well, yeah, he can't be perfect, but but he's got this swag, and he knows he's going to get in there, he's going to tear it up, and I like that. You know, some fighters carry it off well, and some fighters come over too arrogant, but he's got that kind of perfect
balance. Good balance. Yeah, and I'm a big fan of Taylor as well, but I'm even more of a fan of his coach Graham. I think what Graham's done with Taylor has been fantastic. He took Taylor from this young, hungry fighter who used to compete on the match circuit in terms of like point scoring and things like that. He's fought one of my lads, Alfie, a few times under light continuous and got beat. Didn't lose heart. You know, I mean, he's gone away working him, and he puts a lot of work in to his fighter Taylor, who shows. I suppose it goes both ways. The respect's there from each other, and I believe that's why Taylor's becoming so successful. Plus, with the spotlight that we've given him at VKS, they've always supported our shows, and we'll always give the support back. We're happy to help our amateur fighters grow as much as possible, as long as they do their bit. They support our show. And but as I say, this Otis lad, I'm sure he comes from a Taekwondo background, so you expect some real cool kicks.
The last time Taylor faced an opponent he struggled with was from the Taekwondo background.
But that was under full contact rules rather than K1 rules. So K1 rules with the addition of kicking legs, which Taylor's very good at, usually sort of takes the balance of the Taekwondo guys a little bit. So we'll see, but I'm telling you now, I'm tipping that one to be fight of the night.
Really?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be Taylor's first. Let's be honest.
No, exactly.
He often gets fight of the night, so that would be a good one. It would be a good one to see.
Next up is Alfie Lynch versus Mason Sloan. Again, Alfie representing BBSK, my club. Mason Sloan representing Storm Gym in Luton, which is a world famous gym. It's run by Amir Subasic, which he is a big name in kickboxing and has been for many, many years, producing some of the best fighters in the world at some points. Very good gym in Luton. Mason was #1 in the UK for a very long time before having some time off. We've wanted this fight for Alfie for a long time, purely because, you know, Alfie really needs to make a statement of where he is in the rankings at the moment, and with the rankings how they are, Alfie's quite high, and some of the higher fighters have sort of moved up in age and in weight. So this is a perfect fight, a perfect time for both guys to come back and sort of cement where they are in the rankings and where they deserve to go from here. Whoever wins this fight, really, I mean, Alfie will be 18 by the time the October show comes around. I'm not sure about Mason, but I'm pretty sure whoever wins this fight will then be in line for some sort of title fight, whether it be on our promotion or someone else's, because they both deserve it.
Because I was about to say, Alfie's been at it for so long now. He's gone through the kickboxing. He's now into the K1. He seems to be preferred and be doing a lot better in K1. I think it suits the style of your club, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, and so it'd be nice to see him actually come through this fight with a victory and then be in line for a decent title, whether that be an area title or something other on our show or somewhere else. Just because I think it's deserved now. He's been putting in enough work. If anything, he's been putting in more work than a lot of these young fighters, you know, coming up. and it would be nice to just see him get that, you know, because he does. It means a lot to him. You
Definitely,
know,
yeah.
every fight he fights, he always means a lot to him. You can see he gets emotional if it doesn't go his way, and he gets emotional if it does go his way.
And he always carries a big crowd with him as well.
Always, he's got a lot of support. He's got a lot of love from the fans. So
he's got a lot of backing from sponsors as well. Such as his sponsor Colin Kilby, he gets behind him.
Yeah.
Massive amount, helps him out a lot. And Alfie is 100%, you know, in the game for what he wants to be. He wants to become a professional when he's a little bit older, and that's all he sets his sights on. He trains hard. He's at my club. He helps out with the coaching. He really is a good lad who deserves it. And although Mason's had a lot more fights than Alfie, it's time to step up. And as you know, as I was saying to you before we started filming today, a few of my guys, well, all of my guys have got really, really tough fights. And you know, if they don't get the right prep for it, the favour is in for the other guys. Like I'm favouring the other guys. If my guys ain't prepping right, which they are, don't get me wrong, they are. But if they miss a trick, then these other guys are going to bring it. So yeah, my guys are bringing it, and which brings me on to the next one: Tadas Vasiliauskas versus Charlie Conahan, which is a rematch. You see it on the last show.
I think it was a really close one last one.
Very, very close. Could have gone either way. I think Tadas, rightly so, got the nod purely just from being a bit more active with his shots on the night. Charlie was coming forward a lot, but he wasn't throwing a lot.
Do you think he was a bit underestimated Tadas a little bit when he came in?
Who, Charlie? Yeah, probably because, well, you know, I think if he did, it would have been because he got a great win over Joe Shelton, didn't he, on our Ipswich show. And Joe had a lot more experience, and Charlie hardly any. But Charlie come in, sat on him, did the pure K1 style, just pressured him, and it went in his favour. Scored out, should have been scored. Whereas now, he's come up against someone identical to him, Tadas, both strong guys for the weight. Very strong guys for the weight. Both hit hard, very aggressive, and they kind of locked horns on the last show, and one man come out the victor. But this time, I think it's going to be even closer.
Yeah,
I do think it's going to be even closer. Charlie trains hard. He comes from.
You're going to think that Charlie's going to have some kind of fire in his belly to
100%
to get, you know, one over on Tadas.
Well,
because, you know, he might still be feeling bitter because it was such a. I remember the fight. It was such a close fight.
That's it. Yeah.
And I was sitting there in the commentary thinking, I'm not sure where this is going. Me and Danny, we both kind of put our hands over our mics. We both went just like, we don't have a clue. And then, you know, Tadas got the nod, rightly or wrongly, still quite controversial in my eyes. And if that's Charlie, if Charlie's still thinking that he should have got the nod, then he's going to be going into this fight thinking, I'm not going to leave it. I'm not going to leave it down to the judges this time.
Yeah, I'm expecting a Tyson Fury type. I ain't joking. So we're prepping as well. Don't worry about that. Yeah. Moving on, we've got Almantas Castiglionis representing my gym BBSK versus Dom Barnard from Function First in Lincoln. Dom has had twice the amount of fights of Almantas. A very accomplished fighter. Almantas just won his first area title fight on our last show, so he's looking to keep that momentum going. Almantas has an incredible record, 8-1. Dom he's at around 14-15 fights, half and half, I believe. Yeah. And he's a very technical fighter, whereas Almantas is very, very pressure. Yeah. So again, perfect matchup.
I mean, from what I've seen of Dom in other promotions, he's quite a consistent fighter. Yeah. But I have seen him where he's got no quit in him, but like he can get overwhelmed quite a bit. Right. Okay. You know, so I have seen him fights, and again, we're talking a couple of years back now where he has been overwhelmed in a fight, but he's stuck to it, and he's still. Yeah. Like you said, he's been a bit more technical. Like he's scored more effectively, but not been so aggressive and such. So for me, it'd be nice to see him in this environment, fighting someone who's on a fight tear, as far as I'm concerned. Almantas is, you know, he's a very solid fighter. You know, he's not the showboat, he's not the loud one, he's not the quiet one either. But like, he's very just very focused and quite streamlined. So like, it would be interesting to see him fight someone who's got probably more tools in the sense of he's had more fights, so he's got more things he can kind of use. Against Almantas, to see if he can like hold that pressure that Almantas brings naturally, and stand his ground enough to pick him off technically.
Yeah, definitely. And And as you say, with Almanis, as I've said before, he probably trains the hardest in my gym than anyone. He really does put the work in. And by the looks of it, from what we've seen from Dom, he's doing the same. He's not taking it lightly. He's coming to make a statement. So again, another one that I can't call. You know, you guys might want to have a go at calling it, but I couldn't tell you right now who's going to win that fight.
It would be hard for me to say because I haven't seen what Dom's made of recent times. You know, everything changes. You know, what someone was like a year ago, 6 months ago, it can be so different. You know, it's just Almanis is very consistent.
Yeah,
and he has been throughout all of these fights that I've seen him in.
Similar to what Kent's saying, like with Almanis, I've always thought he's just a very solid, middle of the road kind of fighter. You know, he's good technically, kind of just keeps to his kind of. He doesn't try and
not
push.
Too flash.
Yeah, he's not too flash. He don't try and push his boundaries and kind of gets the job done. And I like that. But I can't call this fight because I've never seen Dom, and also as Kent alluded to there, that you don't know how these camps are training as well. You don't know how they're sparring, how they're training, and really. So it's for me. I have no experience with Dom, so I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to, from what you've said, seeing this fight, and I just hope it goes the distance and we get a good fight.
That will be a cracking fight, 100%. So moving on, we've got Miley Davies from, again, my gym. So the story behind Miley is me and him used to compete for the same club, CKA, when we was younger. Miley's had a lot of time out, been away, other clubs, etc. He messaged me last year, wants to get back into it, wants to make his K1 debut as an adult, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, we got talking, he come down to the club, and ever since he's not looked back. He's trained extremely hard, he's fitting into the family, because that's what we are a family. He's fitting into the family perfectly. He's become one of our own, and this is going to be a big fight for him, really. He's coming up against Jordan Harewood from Minotaur's gym. Very solid gym. You see that when Sheridan Taylor fought on our Ipswich show. He stepped in on, what was it, 2 days' notice?
In South London.
I think they're round that way, yeah. Because Danny comes from
Danny
comes from
the
same club.
Right, yeah. So when that guy stepped in, and he looked the bee's knees.
Yeah, he's like a fitness model, isn't he?
Yeah. Because he came over and he said to Danny, because obviously they know each other from the gym. He said I love you, and I was looking at his eyes thinking, what about me? What about me?
Well, to be fair, it's like a mirror image.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, you know what? I looked at him and I thought, is that me? Am I getting in this ring right now? I was unsure.
An out-of-body experience.
It was an out-of-body experience. No.
So, as you say, I believe Jordan, his training partner, is going to bring just the same sort of attitude, coming from a great camp. Jordan, what I love about the guys who fight on our shows, because we're very busy on social media, I love the fact that the guys are always tagging us in things, you know, always tagging us in posts saying I'm ready for VKS. You know, it means I can share it, we can share it on the Instagram page, and again, it promotes it. They're promoting themselves, and that's as well as us promoting them, which, you know, we do more than most promotions. Yeah. You know, it builds a nice platform for them. And Jordan's a tall, lengthy fighter for the weight, 64 kilos, that bout's matched at. Off the top of my head, he's 4-1, 5-1, so around that in terms of his record. So it's a big test for Miley coming back into it. You know, not fought under K1 rules yet.
Did you? How tall is Miley?
So Miley is pretty tall for the weight. I won't know until they're stood next to each other on the face-off, but right now I just think Jordan's just maybe an inch or two taller. Again, coming from a Thai background, he's good solid kicks, but Miley's quick, he's fast, so again, it's that styles makes fights, don't they, at the end of the day. So Miley's going to be very technical but explosive. Jordan's going to be very strong, you know what I mean? Again, strong in the clinch, strong with the knees, strong with the low kicks. Well, I should imagine that, you know what I mean? And knowing the gym they're coming from, you can't take them lightly. So it's another great one for everyone to look forward to. Every bout on the card, right now we've got 17 fights. We was aiming for 19. As it goes, we do lose a few, as everyone knows. But the bouts we've got are solid bouts. I wish we had time to talk about all of them. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't today. but you know, hopefully we can do a little bit more leading up to it and give them guys a mention as well. But these, for me, are the ones to watch at the moment.
Sure. Well, tickets are still on sale now. There's very limited tickets left online. There may be some tickets left on the door, but make sure you get your tickets straight away.
Yeah.
You do not want to miss
David be
this show.
joined by Jamie Bates on the night as well.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Jamie
Ranked
Bates,
number
who
2 in the world now.
Yeah, I was with him VKS 4. Yeah, and got to know him, and we're kind of like follow each other on social media now, and he's a top guy, and he's been winning a lot. He was over in France recently, and
he just beat the world number 2 Harut Grigorian in Glory, and so now Jamie's world number 2, and hopefully in line for a nice.
Yeah, no, I messaged Jamie a couple of times asking if he fancies a spar, but he said he don't want any of it. So so up to him, innit? If he wants to be number 2, he can be number 2, but I'm giving him the chance to be number 1.
Yeah. Any man, anytime, anywhere.
Any man, anytime. Just put the gravel down.
So make sure that you like this post, subscribe to our YouTube channel. All of our content now is going to be coming through YouTube, so we'll be live streaming through YouTube, and all of our show stuff will all come through YouTube now. So make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.